balance and range of motion. It's important that you understand where your balance point is in your body. The center of mass, the center of gravity, your balance point in your body is 2 inches below your belly button. So if you're standing up, and if I ran a garden hose through my head out of my body, my center of mass is going to fall between my feet, right in line with my arches. So one of the myths, one of the misconceptions is to stick your rear end out when you take your setup. The problem with that is it puts your balance, puts your weight in your heels. You're out of balance. So what we're going to do is we're going to hinge forward so the center of mass is always on top of your feet and the center of your feet. This brings us to the second myth, bend from your hips. Well, hips are bones. Bones don't bend. So we've got to be more specific where we're going to bend from. We're going to bend from the hip joint. The hip joint is where your leg bone hooks into your hip. If you bend from your hip joint, this allows your center of mass to stay unchanged. It allows your balance point to stay the same. So if we're going to achieve balance and range of motion, we know our center of mass is between our feet. We're going to hip hinge from our hip joint. That's the first two pieces of the setup. The third myth, we want, or I hear anyway a lot, that we want your hips to stay level to the ground. Because your right hand, if you're a right-handed player, is lower on the grip than your left hand, that means your shoulder, your right shoulder, is going to be lower than your left shoulder. So when my upper body is tilted, it's important that your lower body be tilted as well. So we want to balance between your shoulders and your hips. What this does, it maintains your spine angle. The idea is to maintain, to keep a neutral spine. So I've got to have my hips tilted on the same angle as my shoulders. When we take our setup, we're going to bend from our hip joint. That's going to automatically keep our center of mass or our balance point between our feet. The perfect connection is going to make sure that our shoulders and our hips are on the same angle so that we've maintained a spine angle. Now, the backswing is real simple. The left shoulder is going to replace the right shoulder without swaying. So we've got our center of mass between our feet. Our upper body is going to move behind the ball. We still have our center of mass. Our head is allowed to move to complete the backswing. Now from here, the elbows will automatically bend. That's what gets the club to the top of the backswing. So we're bending from the hip joint. We've got our center of mass. We've got our hips and shoulders on the same angle. Our upper body gets behind the ball. The arms naturally fold, wrists naturally bend. That's the beginnings to a great golf swing.